Let's take you to the Western Cape now, where we're watching a different angle of the story. Bring in Athi Mtongana, who is standing by to get us reaction, Athi, from the ANC in the Western Cape, in a context, of course, where we know Jessie Duarte recently visited that province to try revive the party there.
Yes, it was just in the run-up to the local government elections, Ayanda, where the Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Jessie Duarte, visited the Western Cape. You might know, of course, that the Provincial Executive Committee was disbanded, and so her interaction largely in the Western Cape has been with the Interim Provincial Committee, and I'm joined by one of the co-ordinators. She's a female leader within the ANC in the province, Ronalda Nalumango. She is one that has had a relationship with Jessie Duarte to an extent where they have been communicating just recently, and she's going to take us through some of the engagements that she had with the late now Jessie Duarte, who was really key to rebuilding the African National Congress here in the Western Cape. She went as far as to come and urge the members of the ANC here in the Western Cape to unite and do away with the internal squabbles that have landed the ANC's PEC to be disbanded by the National Executive Committee. Ronalda, thank you so much for your time. Now, she was the only woman in the top 6 of the ANC. What did that mean for you as another leader of the ANC in the Western Cape?
Not just another leader in the Western Cape, but another woman in the Western Cape. Comrade Jessie was a formidable leader. She was a formidable woman. A woman that fought for the empowerment of other women. A woman that took other women along with her. That is how she is. She was not just my leader. She was a mom to me. She was a sister to some of us. And I must say that, you know, as our leader, and a woman leader at that in the top 6, she stood her ground. She spoke her mind without fear or favor. She was fierce. When she advanced the arguments, you know, some of us were just sitting back and we're taking pointers, especially as a young woman, taking pointers from her in how she led, in how her posture was, you know, and I, for one, have learned a lot from her. She was my mentor. She encouraged me at all times because I always said, it is tough. We were only 2 women secretaries, Lindy Salitali from Mpumalanga and myself here in the Western Cape, in the secretariat, because Mama Jessie was the one that now, you know, led in the secretariat after Comrade Ace was on step aside. And she has really taken my hand. It was the first time that I've led in the secretariat. I've always been a chairperson. I was a chairperson of my region, and so she has really taken me by the hand. And I must say that I've looked up to her all this time. Now I've learned a lot from her. And these are lessons that I will take with me along on my path in life.
I was just saying to Ayanda now that you were one that had an interaction and a relationship with her most recently. Talk to us about some of those chats that you showed me earlier on WhatsApp and what she was really emphasizing with the members of the ANC, particularly here in the Western Cape.
She was asking us not to be silent, to stand up. She was referring you know, to some of the chats. She was referring to the protests that are happening in DA-run municipalities. And she said, we need to hear your voice. You need to stand up. Otherwise, there will be a misperception going out. The narrative will be a negative one towards the ANC instead of to those that are governing, which is the DA. So that was one of our chats that we've had. In another chat, she said, don't be silent. Speak up. Stand your ground. Stand firm. And in the other chat, ground needs us. We need to be there where our people are. Stop sending messages and be physically present. And you know, I could see that some of her messages really came from her heart when she spoke. She really loved the organization very, very much. And she will always guide us and tell us, you know, as secretaries, what is expected of us as the secretariat. because we are the ones, the custodians of the membership, the ones that have to hold the organization together in the secretariat. And she would always encourage us to be physically present and to be inundated with the renewal and the rebuilding of the organization. And that renewal and rebuilding do not need divisions, do not need factions. She has been placing emphasis on that.
Now, before I let you go, I know it's still quite early given the fact that the news came this morning. Is the ANC in the Western Cape going to be honoring her? Are there any logistics in preparation for maybe her memorial in the Western Cape, given how much she really cared for the ANC in the Western Cape?
Yes, Athi, we will be having a memorial for our late Mama Jessie here in the Western Cape, and we will then communicate all logistics to yourself and to everyone else, our members on the ground. And I know at large the community, especially the community of Boekap, you know, she has some family members also residing in the Western Cape. And so we will also be in communication with them and in communication with the family in Johannesburg when we are going to have a memorial here in the Western Cape for her, to honor her legacy as a fierce woman fighter who fought against an oppressive regime and then fought for the freedom of us all here in this country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. One of the coordinators for the Interim Provincial Committee, Ronalda Nalumango, speaking to us about the relationship that she had, particularly as a female politician within the African National Congress, and how she emphasized that members of the ANC in the Western Cape need to be visible, considering the fact that the ANC is not governing this party, considering the fact that there have been protests against the ruling party, the Democratic Alliance. Now Jessie coming in to tell the members of the ANC to make sure that they become visible, especially when it comes to issues that are dealing with service delivery, because really at the heart of what she really came here for, when I had an interview with her last year, Ayanda, she was really emphasizing how we should not be obsessed with asking questions about the internal affairs of the African National Congress, and rather look at the work that the ANC should be doing to serve its people. We'll leave it there for now, and we'll continue to bring you more reaction from Cape Town. And I do also want to mention that the presiding officers of Parliament have also issued out a statement sending their condolences to the Jessie Duarte family, saying that she played a pivotal role in the legislature. Ayanda.
Athi Mtongana, live to us there from the Western Cape in Stellenbosch, to be more precise. For now, Athi, thanks very much indeed.